Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Bricks King podcast, where I'm going to bend your ear about Lego, review those amazing bricks of plastic, and discuss what is new and up and coming around the Lego world. I'm your minifig host, Matt. Let's build on it. Welcome in, everybody. How are we doing today? Today we are here to wrap up the 71 projects of the Lego Ideas current round of submissions, which, my God, it seems like it's never going to end. 71 submissions. Can you believe that? I honestly never thought that there would be a day that we would have 71 submissions. But alas, we are here. So let's go ahead and jump in just like I had planned to, but it's coming out a little bit later for you guys. The number 38 in the 71, the Lego Astronaut Never Give Up by Lego Truman, like the Truman Show. That's pretty cool. We have a Lego astronaut that is floating above the Earth in his EVA suit, and it's looking at the suit. I've had enough time to tear this thing apart in my head. This thing is huge. It's not a tiny build. It's a massive build. My curiosity behind this is, what is the price tag behind this? I know we've had expensive Lego idea sets before, but this seems to be an interesting, heavy price tag for what it is. Is somebody really going to want an astronaut? Now, we've had a lot of astro type things before, spaceships and such. Does this fall into that, or does it not? Does it fall into its own realm? But it does look nice. I'm curious to know what the piece for the shield that they used, because it's that dark, smoked out black screen visor, whatever you want to call it. It looks pretty nice. But is that one piece, or is it connected to something? The next one we have is the Iron Giant by Hachiroku 24. I have loved this one. If I'm not mistaken, this was up for the last round of review. This is really cool because you get this tiny little set build with the car, and you have a minifig. You've got some trees here. It's different. I like it because of what it is. I'm not sure if this comes off and you can pose it separately, because that's what I would want. I would want the rest of the build to go away. Honestly, I wouldn't care if it was there. I would rather have the Iron Giant by itself, but that's just me. It looks good. It looks pretty nice. It looks slick. I'm okay with it. On to the next one. We have the Robotic Mech Factory by the B3. I'm not sure how I feel about this. We have a mech. Yes, not a fan of the mech. You have a minifig that is inside of the mech, not like, you know, like Ninjago where their head's sticking out. No, it's like in the middle of the mech, which is kind of unique. The build is actually kind of fun. I think it's too big for what Lego Ideas is looking for. We have some pieces that are used here for the smoke towers at the base of them that are from Nexo Knights. Originally, I just don't think for Nexo Knight wheels. I'm sorry. I did not clarify. I just think it's too big. It's too much of a mess that it's not going to get made. And I'm not trying to shoot anybody down or anything. I just don't think it's going to get made. Next up, we have Bluey again by Monkey Scout. I understand what Bluey is now. I've seen a little bit of Bluey. I'm not a big fan of Bluey. I don't really care about Bluey. There's a giant following for Bluey. I can see this being made at this point in time. It is cute. It is unique. I like the prints that are here. And somebody printed these. You know, somebody printed these and really went above and beyond. So with that in mind, I think it should be potentially, you know, in the top 10 to be considered to have a set made from it. Next up, we have Naruto. Oh, dear God. Ichiraku. That sounds so wrong. Ramen Shop 20th anniversary by the Dadi twins, or Daddy twins, Dadi twins. I like the way this looks. It kind of fits into Monkey Kid, this build that is going on here. It's kind of a hot mess in a good way. Does this fall under IPA? Because it's Naruto. I don't see it getting made, unfortunately. DuckTales, The Money Bin by SXA Valentine. Abso-freaking-lutely what I love to see this. You have multiple sections that pull out. You have the gold pit for your homeboy to jump into. I like this. This could fall under IPA as well. I don't know how much this is going to be a factor. The build definitely needs some revamp to it. It's not bad. It's not great. It reminds me of the Mario Cube, and I hated the Mario Cube. So definitely something that needs to be adjusted. Bionicle, Toa head statue. Yannick Builds Things is the creator. Nope. Bionicle had their chance with the Bricklink designer program. Nobody supported it. Not enough Bionicle, the Bonkles, supported it. It's not going to happen, unfortunately. DJ, dear God, Chiama Italia by Face Brick Up. This is clearly based on what it is, Italia. This is an Italian thing. I don't know anything about it. We have a little studio that's going on here with a bunch of monitors. This appears like it's some kind of streaming / radio show / something else. I don't think it has a big enough following or demographic to be able to be considered. I think it's going to be out. The Metropolitan, Don't Miss Your Train by Lil Billy. This is kind of interesting. We have a little train that's running through here. It's a mini train and it's rolling through this train station. I say mini train. I don't think it's going to be super significant for minifig builds, but it may be. But you have it coming underground, and then you have the train station up above where you can take the tunnel underneath. I think that is really neat. I think it is too brick intensive for Lego ideas. I honestly don't foresee it happening, but it's really cool. The next one we have is the classic telephone by Brick Dangerous. Really unique, a very old school telephone, very unique idea. I love the idea behind it. The way it's executed, okay. Unfortunately, it's not going to get made. Wednesday, Welcome to Ophelia Hall by Brickmax. Is this the show, Wednesday, the Netflix show that I watched, or the movie that I loved? I don't think it is. I don't know anything about this. I do like the build, but my concern is it's just the top end of a building. You have what looks to be a printed spider web on one half of a transclear tile, a giant round tile, and then some other weird coloring that is going on the other half of it. How much is there a following for this? Like Seinfeld, at least Brooklyn Nine-Nine has a worldwide following. At least The Office had a massive following. Does this? I've never heard of it. I just don't think it's going to happen. Welcome to Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe 75th anniversary set. God, it seems like forever ago. Rapichi 90077 made this set. It is cute. It is nice. You have a plethora of minifigs, including the lion. I just don't see it happening. I don't think it falls under IPA type stuff that they're going to have to fight with. And you know what? They could, if they walk down that fairy tale-esque type route. I just don't see it. I like the tree in the background that's snow covered on each side of this. I think that's really neat. I just don't see it being a thing. Stardew Valley Farmhouse by 4 Bricks Tall. This is a nice little farmhouse. My problem with this is it's too bland on the outside. People are like, well, studs on the side that are covered by tiles. That's great and everything. There is a little bit to be said for too much tilage. And in this case, I think there's way too much tilage on the roof, on the side of the building. Even though there's just a tiny few studs sticking out. I just don't think it's going to happen. You have some chickens, you have some crops that are out here. You got a bluebird. He's got a purple oiling can, which is really weird. I don't know what he's using for that. What is he oiling with a purple can? Could it be grape jelly? Does corn like grape jelly? It may. It honestly may. I don't know. Maybe it fertilizes it. Parks and Recreation by SJ's Workshop. Okay, we have been down this road before with the Parks and Recreation. I've never seen it. I think this is honestly played out from the Lego Ideas people. I think they have already done 2. I think they're probably done at this point in time. I know it has a cult following. I do. I just don't know that this build alone is going to get it done. With The Office, there was a lot of stuff going on. I just don't know that there's going to be enough here in the way that they did the zigzag build at the corner of it. Antique Cabinet by Trauma. This is cool. This is a very big build, and you have a brick-built chair. I could see this potentially getting chosen. I mean, we've seen the piano get chosen. We've seen the jazz quartet get chosen. We've seen some funky things, you know. I just don't know that this is going to be a thing. Gilmore Girls by, oh dear God, Marodi Pietro and Gilmore Girls. If the last 2 shows didn't get pushed through and built, I hate to tell you, Gilmore Girls is not coming through, y'all. It is not going to be something that pushes through and makes the cut. Now, there's a bunch of minifigs here. You actually have 9 of them. And I've seen a few episodes here and there, maybe a handful of, I shouldn't say a handful, maybe 7 or 8 of them. Now my thing, and I know there's a following, but is that following translating into Lego? I don't think so. So then we move on to Cool Runnings Jamaica Bobsled Team by Sanka. There you go. Sanka Bassoon. And I love this. Yes, I'm a fan of this movie from 1992, the Disney movie. So it falls under Disney IPA, which currently Lego has, but I don't know how far that IPA extends. I keep saying IPA. Is it just IP? I feel like it's Intellectual Property Authority. It just might be IP. Anyway, it definitely falls under the Disney IP, so it is definitely a thing that needs to be considered. I think it's really unique. They have some stuff here for the Calgary Games. They have the Olympic rings that look like it's printed here. This could be a lot of fun. This is something that you could set up and just display. I really like the idea behind it. I am full in, and I definitely was one of those people that was like, oh, click, yep, support. I'm a 10Ker. The next one we have One Direction, What Makes You Beautiful by SJ's Workshop. We've already heard about you, SJ. We already saw a music video from, BT Dub? Not a music video, but a set from BT Dub. While it looks great on the beach and everything, I don't think it's going to fall into something. If this wasn't One Direction, I think they would definitely look at it. But the fact that it is, I think it gets passed up. Harry Styles, Harry's House by Brick Hills 14. It's a giant yellow birdhouse. The answer is no. Sorry. I love you, but sorry, dude. Blackpink, How You Like That by Power of Infusion and Bang Tan Bricks. It feels, it's another music group, no printed faces, a weird set build. I do like the hearts that are standing up above, but my answer to this is a big fat no. Then we move on to Lantern in the Wind by Quang Tran, 1993. Could you have been born in 1993? Can we say that fairly? This one actually looks kind of neat. It falls under kind of Ninjago, the Asian desire. Here you have this Asian kind of walk through portal, gate, whatever you want to call it, and then you have this Asian-inspired 3-tiered building that is on the water. You have a rocky type tiled stony stuff that leads into the entranceway here, which is nice, and it's in that style where it's a display type thing, because you have the tiling on the side. Well, it's not really tiling on the side. The tiling is on the top, but it's you can see the side of the bricks, which I don't know. I don't know if that's going to work. It definitely doesn't fit diorama, so who knows. The Addams Family by Yang Yang. I want this. It feels like Monster Fighters. I definitely think, though, that there needs to be an adjustment to this build. The build is nice. It is. The problem is I don't think it works well enough. I think there needs to be a little added improvement. And it's not to knock it. I think just to get it made, you need to have a little bit more, you could throw some interior stuff in there, and I think it would adjust slightly. Now, it does have pegs in it to pin into a modular. I don't know. We'll see what this thing looks like, and we'll see whether or not it gets approved. SpongeBob SquarePants Bikini Bottom by Vaco. I'm sorry. They're not pushing over Nickelodeon. I think this is dead in the water, although it looks nice. I can't remember if this was done before or not, but if it was, it's dead in the water. Bricklink Lego Color Table by Pancetta Sublime 019. We've seen something like this before. I don't think anybody buys this. And I think that's where the design group is going to look at it and like, yeah, it's cool, but nobody's going to buy it. I wouldn't buy it. And the reason I wouldn't buy it is because it's a one-hitter quitter. I don't get any enjoyment out of it afterwards. I have it, I build it, it is there. It becomes a desk piece. It becomes a minor, very minor art piece. I just don't foresee it going anywhere. The Moon, Earth's Companion by Sharky Bricks. Another kind of mosaic. This is kind of like a mosaic. It's almost like a 3D mosaic. It is definitely a 3D mosaic. I don't really know what to think of this. You have the different faces of the moon along the bottom. You have a picture of what is supposed to be the Earth from the moon. You have a distance calculator here, which is nice that it's scaled. You have this rocky looking picture of the moon. I think that's kind of cool. Does it fall close enough to the Astro type space stuff? I don't think so. It definitely falls in there. When I first look at this, I think Star Wars. And as much as I think it is really cool in the way that it was done, like I had an opportunity to really go through this and kind of pick things apart, I just don't know that it's going to be enough. If it is, I'll be happy to be like, that is awesome. I'll buy it myself. The next one we have is Taylor Swift Lover House by Lucy33. It is very dollhouse style where you can see everything. The answer is a big fat no. I can tell you right now it's going to be a no. Ice Cream Parlor by Bricky Brick. This is too much of a modular. As great as this seems, you have the grapevines that are on the outside, literally. You have these shops. You have stairways that go into. You have these separate builds. It's too close to a modular. It doesn't get built. Elf the Movie by Jonathan 1986. Love this build. And the reason I love this build is because one side you have the way it looks from the front, and the rear side you have the inner workings from the movie. I love the fact that we get so many minifigs. I think that's going to be a detriment to the choice here. You have your narwhal here, which I love, and it's in a brick built form, which is cute. I think is it Roger? Is it Roger? His quote unquote dad with his desk. I just don't see it happening. And it's not to say it isn't great. I absolutely love this thing. I think there are going to be some things they run into. If it happened for like a rough Christmas time set, I'd be cool. We usually get we usually get a Lego Ideas set after the Winter Village is released. So I could definitely see this being a thing. Double Helix Coaster by Nachapon Lego. It's a cool coaster. It is, but it's redundant. It just spins in circles over and over and over. And while it is nice, and it appears like it lifts up the build. Is that what I'm seeing here? I just don't think it's going to happen, especially on an elevated base plate. And this looks like it's a 3D model, which I definitely don't think is going to be a thing. Ida's Owl House by T Brick. I don't know anything about Ida's Owl House. It looks okay. It looks like it has Sauron's eye that is in the middle. I don't hate it. I think it actually looks pretty sharp, but it feels like it's missing something. The tower is too bland. The front of the house looks great. The back of the house looks great. It just feels like the tower is missing something, and I don't know. Again, is it going to be able to sell? Wizard's Hut by J.K. Brick. Not J.K. Brickworks. Don't get fooled. Now this one is really nice. This is supposed to be a cloud themed build where you're hanging out in the clouds or whatnot. I love the build in its own right. I would buy this hands down if this were made. We've got a little wizard here. You got these little towers that are going on. You got this little hut. Great build up on the sides of this thing, of this kind of rocky edge of things. You got a bridge going across. I think this could make it. But again, I don't know what they're looking for. The Hourglass by Brick Dangerous. We're closing in here. We have 3 hourglasses here. We have one in red with black bricks, tiles. We have one that has a bunch of colorful wheels that has some spring green tiles. And then we have one that has some, those aren't, I don't think those are teal. They might be teal. Tiles that are coming down here. The idea behind it is okay. My curiosity is how do you take something like this and display it? How do you take 3 different, hourglasses and turn them into something that you want to see on your shelf? I just don't think it happens. It's cute. It's nice. I just don't see it happening. Small Shrimping Boat by Adwind. Adwind. I've seen Adwind around. It's definitely on Twitter. Anyway, I love the build behind this. We have a little base here that is some water and then what appears to be like sand or some rock or something like that. And you have your boat here named Anna, which is kind of neat that they have that on there already. It is definitely a shrimping boat. They have where the net catchers are on the shrimp catching nets. They have those stowed away, which is kind of cute. Not a bad build, honestly. I don't hate it. I think the front actually looks probably one of my favorite parts of it. The kind of the nose that they have going on here. I think that's kind of cool. My question behind it, I'm looking at the scale here. You have a minifig that's going either up or down the ladder. It looks like he's coming down after he painted Anna. It does have some depth as far as length goes. My curiosity is, does it fit with the quote unquote shrimping boat from Hidden Side? It's a similar color scheme. It's a similar idea. It's a similar build. Is it too close to what they originally did that they're like, you know what, we're going to walk away? But I really like this build. I would love to see this done. The last one is Vintage Radio by, dear God, Dimex Art. I don't know. It'd be cool. Demon X Art. That'd be neat. Anyway, you have this build here of this Vintage Radio. My problem is when I originally saw this, I see the 2 dials as eyes, and then I see the dial scanners with the little red bar that rolls up and down across the ranges as a mouth. And I can't unsee it. And for that reason, I'm going to pass on it. It looks okay. I just don't think it's interesting enough that they're going to look at it and be like, oh yeah, without a doubt, we're going to take this thing in. I just don't see that being the case, unfortunately. So I'm sorry. So that is going to wrap up all of the 71 Lego Ideas projects. I am sorry if you are listening and I poo-pooed on your build, or I didn't have the greatest things to say, or maybe I did. It's not up to me. I'm just giving my specific opinion. The Lego Ideas team is taking into account price. They're taking into account IP, not IPA. I don't know why I keep saying IPA, but they're taking into account IP. They're taking into account everything involved. How many pieces? What does the build look like? Is it too big? Does it fit a theme? Does it fit a current theme? Does it fit a past theme? And maybe it doesn't fit a past theme. And they're like, you know what? Let's do it. But some of them, like the modular style stuff, I'm telling y'all, modular style stuff is not gonna get made. It's already dead in the water. I love to see them on Lego Ideas when I scroll through. It's just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. So that's gonna wrap up this edition of, well, the current episode, but of the Lego Ideas double episode podcast, right? So until we meet again, I'm your minifig host, Matt. Let's build on it.